The AMX1390C90 is the second variant of the AMX-13 light tank family. The AMX1390 uses a bigger, low-pressure 90mm CN90 F2 tank gun, similar to how the E.B.R Model 1951 was modified to become the Model 1963. It was designed to compensate for the French Army's lack of anti-tank capabilities at the time. It's an AMX-13, but with the AML-90's gun. That's all you gotta know. In the early 1950s, France started the development of the 120mm armed AMX-50 in response to the perceived Soviet threat of the heavy tanks like the IS-3 and the T-10. The vehicles was heavily armored, and with armor increasing to 90mm in the front and equipped with a 120mm gun. The project faced challenges from weight and mechanical reliability, leading to adjustments in design from 59.2 metric tons to 57.8 metric tons. Additionally, a tank destroyer variant named AMX-50 Foch was developed. The project eventually resulted in the construction of 5 complete AMX-50 prototypes, recognizing the weight issues. A parallel medium tank project called Lorraine 40T was started in 1952. The same 120mm cannon was later used in the development of the AMX-50 Foch, a heavy tank destroyer intended to support the medium tanks from long ranges. Now this is a beast of a tank. In War Thunder, this is a decently fast, under-armored, heavily armed 57-ton tank. Yes, it only shoots solid shots, but I think a supersonic 23kg metal slug with 300mm of penetration will obliterate anything it hits, and it does get a very potent HE round for light tanks. The Somua SM was originally developed as part of a competition between AMX and Somua to produce a heavily armored tank that shared similar components and parts due to the French army forcing both companies to work under identical specifications. The order to build a prototype was given in 1946, but the vehicle was only delivered in October 1951, weighing 56 tons but still lacking an engine. In contrast, the AMX-50, the Somua SM's direct competitor, had already been tested, and a variant of the AMX-50 with a 120mm cannon was already being designed. Ultimately, the Somua SM was not tested until 1953, by which point the AMX-50 Surbaisse had already been delivered for testing. The AMX-50 A100 had been deemed insufficient due to its armament. These delays would doom the project, leading to an eventual cancellation of the project and scrapping of the only constructed prototype. In War Thunder, this tank is essentially an up-armored version of the Lorraine 40T or the AMX-50 A100, and that's literally it. It has the exact same gun, and just a little less speed because it's heavier from the armored chassis. But still, it's a pretty good tank. The Panhard Engine Blindé de Reconnaissance Model 1963 Relevoise is a heavy modification of the Panhard Engine Blindé de Reconnaissance E.B.R Model 1951, which was the first variant of the Panhard E.B.R armored car family. Between 1964 and 1968, 650 units of the Panhard E.B.R Model 1951 variants were modernized, with the original 75mm tank gun replaced by a bigger, low-pressure 90mm tank gun. It was developed to compensate for the lack of anti-tank capabilities within the French army at the time. The final version of the E.B.R. Once more, they just took the AML-90 gun and strapped it to the E.B.R. this time. And that's literally all you need to know. At the end of World War II, France found itself dependent on foreign military aid and rushed to develop its military with domestic aircraft, tanks, and other weaponry. One of these systems was a heavy tank comparable to existing tanks such as the Tiger II and IS-2, but with greater mobility and more reliability. The AMX-50 Surblinde was thus presented in 1955, a variant of the AMX-50 with increased armor. The project, however, was abandoned due to the lack of funding and cooperation with the United States and West Germany, as well as the accelerated development of deadlier anti-tank weapons. This thing has a sad story, but I must tell you, this is probably the best tank in the French tech tree. It has very good armor, it has a powerful gun, a 6-second reload, and it's pretty fast. I mean, what more could you ask for? It has everything. Damn, I wish I could have this thing. This is the end of my part 2 to my 7.7 lineup. Next, I'll be moving on to the 8.0 lineup. If you're interested, subscribe and keep a lookout.